Welcome back to Headline News, and our top stories: bushfires tear through Tasmania. Live to Tristan Myers, our senior meteorologist, with the weather details coming up next. Also this morning, Coalition MPs push to protect the date, calling for legislation for Australia Day. Good morning, you are watching Headline News for this Thursday morning. I'm Janie Seal. Coming up in the next 15 minutes, Australia suffers its steepest house prices in 15 years. And our Sky News meteorologist Tristan Myers joins us now. Tristan, an exceptionally hot day for South Australia today after a very hot night as well. Extreme heat warnings. Are we going to be seeing some records being broken here today?
Yeah, I've been looking at that in particular, Janie, particularly those long-term records. Here we have a table which shows what the record is already. Most of these were set in the early 2000s or even around 1939. That's when we had a particularly intense heat wave. And the forecast today, as you can see, challenge it. In fact, exceeds it for areas like Snowtown, Adelaide just a degree shy. But I mean, regardless if we get to the records or not, it's still going to be an exceptionally hot day for South Australia. The South Australian Emergency Services has issued an extreme heat warning out for the state as temperatures rise to 43 degrees in Mount Gambier and up to 49 degrees for Port Augusta today. With this also comes the risk of fires. We have extreme fire danger in some areas, severe in others, total fire bans across the entirety of the south. It's fairly dangerous fire weather today. And although we will see some relief overnight with the westerly change, it'll just drop temperatures to the 30s, and the worst of the heat and the fire danger then spreads to Tasmania and Victoria, and both of these states are already battling bushfires, no more so than Tasmania, where over 55,000 hectares of bush has burnt since the beginning of this year. Looking at the fire danger for Friday, it looks quite bad in Tasmania. It looks like the worst fire danger I've seen so far this season, and temperatures could even hit 35 to 40 degrees for some areas, with wind speeds gusting up to 70 kilometers an hour. So it looks like a very challenging situation ahead for firefighters. Still a lot of smoke as well in Tasmania. Launceston 26 degrees and remaining hot over the southeast inland. Ballarat at 38 degrees today, Janie.
We had powerful storms, Tristan, yesterday hit parts of New South Wales, including some hail in some regions. Will we see a repeat performance today?
I don't think we're going to see as many storms today, but you can't rule them out being severe. It is severe weather season after all. And this is one of such storms in Glen Innes. Whenever you see sort of a blue or green tinge to storms, it's a hint that they could be hail in them. And you can see that it's Glen Innes right over there. Now, the storms actually formed on the Blue Mountains. That's where we had most of the hail reports, 2 to 3 centimeters in diameter. And they shifted north. But, Janie, I just think we'll see the odd thunderstorm over northeast New South Wales today. Mostly, it's just going to be a hot day.
All right, we'll be watching closely. Thank you, Tristan.
Sure.
And Sky News reporter Stella Todorovic joins me now, live from Tasmania at the Fire Services headquarters. Good morning to you once again, Stella. There are currently 6 watch and acts in place. What is the threat looking like today?
Good morning, Janie. That's right. Cooler conditions yesterday and into this morning have given firefighters the upper hand in battling some of those very big blazes in the Central Plateau region. The Tasmania Fire Service this morning saying that they were able to do some really good work yesterday and this morning ahead of a very hot day tomorrow. But we still have, as you mentioned, 6 watch and acts in place across the state. We are looking at watch and acts at Penstock Lagoon, Maina, Liawini, Barrenty and Todd's Corner. Now, Janie, these were all emergency warnings yesterday, and the Tasmania Fire Service is warning that with winds picking up later today and the heat also increasing inland, that it's going to be a very risky day and that those fires might actually get upgraded back to emergency alert level. Now, tomorrow is the real threat. As I mentioned earlier, we're looking at temperatures between 30 and 40 degrees across the state, which could create for some disastrous bushfire conditions. It's going to be the worst bushfire day of the season for Tasmania. Holiday makers here for the long weekend are being warned to not go to the bush if that's what they're planning to do with their long weekend due to this escalated fire risk, just in case that's actually what happens tomorrow, that these fires do get upgraded. So, Janie, definitely tomorrow's the one to watch.
Yes, the worst sounds like it is yet to come. And finally, Stella, a total fire ban is in place.
That's right. This fire ban will be in place throughout the long weekend up until Monday in hope of preventing any further fires from breaking out. We're seeing about 46 fires burning across the state, 7 advice levels and 6 watch and acts. Janie.
Thank you very much. Live there in Tasmania, Stella Todorovic, our Sky News reporter. And the heat wave in the country's southeast will peak today with record-breaking temperatures, as we heard from Tristan Myers, our senior meteorologist for South Australia. Our reporter Stacey Lee is in Adelaide and joins me live now. Good morning to you, Stacey. How hot is it expected to get where you are?
Well, Jamie, it's 7:45 and it's already 32 degrees, so it's going to be a pretty hot day. The forecast for the CBD is 45 degrees, but Bureau thinks we might even break our all-time record of 46.1. That was set back in 1939. Now, of course, it's going to be even hotter in other parts of the state as well. The Bureau says there's a list of around 20 cities which could break their all-time records as well. It's definitely a scorcher here in South Australia today. That's why an extreme heat warning has been issued, and fire authorities are on alert as well. They've issued total fire bans for 13 of the 15 fire districts in South Australia today. The winds are expected to pick up this afternoon. They're going to be hot and gusty, and as we've seen in the past, those winds mixed with these hot temperatures can prove disastrous if a fire does break out. Energy is being monitored as well because our energy grid is expected to be at peak consumption this afternoon at around 90%. So authorities are monitoring that as well, hoping that the power does stay on throughout the heat wave. Luckily, though, there is some relief in sight. Tonight at around midnight, the cool change will come through, dropping the temperature in Adelaide to 31 tomorrow. But until then, we have to sweat through it. Authorities are issuing the usual alerts, Janie. Stay indoors where possible, stay hydrated, stay cool, and check on elderly neighbours and loved ones because they can be particularly vulnerable in this heat.
Yeah, certainly it's great advice. We can't hear enough. Thank you so much. Stay cool and safe there, Stacey Lee, our Sky News reporter there live in Adelaide. Well, let's get some tennis now. And